Hello people, Awesome50 here, and today I'm just going to do a quick video about the film Borderlands. Yeah, I went to see the film Borderlands, I think at the end of last month or something like that, and I'm hearing and actually seeing a lot of like bad reviews or like negative reviews and like bad comments about the film and stuff like that. And like when I watched the film, and I feel as though I'm the only person on the planet that actually enjoyed this movie. Like, I don't know what people's like expectations are for these kind of films, because this has always been like a long running thing where when people make when anybody makes a film which is based off like a video game series or any video game at all, it's never going to live up to that expectations. Like, for example, if you have a masterpiece of a game and then they made a film about it, it's never going to be that good. Even if they make a series about a game, it's still never that good. But I think Borderlands, it stuck very like, if you played the first Borderland games, then you watch the film, then you'd probably know what I mean. They've tried to make it close enough to the game as they humanly could in the film, and they did kind of stick to the story quite well, in my opinion. I mean, the film was, let's just say, just under a couple hours long. But you've got to think, people, the game itself, like the first Borderlands game, it was at least a 30-hour game. At least. Maybe 40, something like that. In my opinion. I know it was like an old school PS3 game. But still, you know, it was a in-depth game. And then the storyline kept adding on when it came to like Borderlands 2 with Handsome Jack, and then you had the pre-sequel where Handsome Jack is like the good guy. Then you had the third game, which was with the Calypso twins, and game was a bit meh. But still, the film did stick to the first game's kind of source material. And I know that because there's gonna be some spoilers here actually. There's gonna be a couple of spoilers. If you haven't seen the Borderlands film, you can stop watching this video now if you don't want any spoilers. Okay, now continuing on. For example, Tina thinks that she's you know, the siren. She thinks she is. And obviously, because I've played the games and enjoyed the games, I knew she wasn't. I knew, you know, the Firehawk going to be Firehawk, if you know what I mean. I knew Tina wasn't going to be the siren. I knew that. But if you've never played the games, you wouldn't know that. You know. So basically, me even saying that means that it was close to the source material because I knew that, and it didn't ruin the film for me. Yeah, so it did stick to source material. Obviously, you had to condense things down and obviously shorten things to fit within like a 1.5 hour, time frame. So the film was good. It stuck to its guns. It didn't do anything different. It had all your favourite characters in as well. Granted, it left out a few of the main characters, which I was disappointed about. They opened the vault and everything like that. They did what they did in the game. I don't know what people actually really want from the film. What did people expect? The Borderlands film were coming out. You got a Borderlands film based off the video games. That's what you got. What was wrong with the film? I don't get it. It wasn't sloppy or anything like that. The action scenes were pretty decent, and the film, it wasn't like an age 18 film. The game was characterized for all ages, and it did a bloody good job at that. It's so hard this day and age for a film these days to cater for all different categories, and this film did it. You had your action scenes, you had your comedy scenes, you had what you wanted. So, what is wrong with the film? There's nothing wrong with the film. It's a good film. The only problem is, I would have liked to have seen like a cameo of Handsome Jack at the end. The main like antagonist for the next couple of games. But you didn't get that. But also as well, when they got into the vault and you could see the destroyer taking the person who was in charge of the Atlas Corporation. I would have liked to have seen the destroyer a bit more. Okay, they could have put a bit more of a budget in that, so we could actually see a little bit of a fight scene. But I'm going to assume that this film was literally just going to be like a start of a film series, basically. So they'll probably extend the budget within the next films if they do make any more. and you'd see a lot more. You might even see the Warrior. You might see Handsome Jack. You might see the Destroyer properly. You might go into space a lot more. Anything could happen, but it's unfair to slam a game as soon as it's come out for no reason. There isn't a reason. Any reason people are saying about the Borderlands film and stuff like that, well, they're wrong. I mean, this is just my opinion, but this film did stay close to the game's source material. It didn't go off topic. Now, does anyone remember the film Tekken from the fighting game series, which came out probably like 12, 13 years ago? Something like that. Now, that game did go away from its source material. You know, it did. That film had nothing to do with the games. They made up their own little storyline and plot, and just included the characters in there. You know, so a game, a movie like the Tekken movie, that was genuinely rubbish. But Borderlands wasn't that bad. You even had Kate Blanchett in. She acted well. Everyone did their part well, and the film was pretty damn decent. Okay, I hope they met more of the films. I really do, because I don't think they did a bad job. So I don't understand what people expect. Should they never bring out movies based on video games? Should they never do? Okay, maybe they shouldn't do that because it's never going to be the same. We've seen this lots of times. It never does work really. No one's ever really happy. I mean, granted, okay, I've never. Embarrassingly enough, I actually haven't seen the Super Mario Brothers film yet, but everyone praised this film, you know, and that's based off a video game. No, I mean the new Super Mario Brothers movie, by the way. Obviously, the old 90s Super Mario Brothers film, again, that strayed away from the source material. And there wasn't much back then, to be honest, anyway. But still, it was like they made their own thing up. You know, it strayed away from the source material kind of thing. Whereas, obviously, the newer Super Mario Brothers film, which I haven't seen yet, but I know a lot about it, I've seen plenty of trailers. I'm assuming they stick to the source material and they have the good actors in it. You know? So there was nothing wrong, in my opinion, with the Borderlands film. I got from that film what I expected to get. But the problem this day and age is, how do I explain it? Because movies that have been made based off video games, in history, they've all been terrible. So when people go into a movie which is based off a video game, they're already anticipating it to be terrible. It's like people look for faults where there aren't any faults. And obviously, when a video game has been, you know, a film's been made based off a video game, just, I mean, it's hard for me to explain it because I don't want to sound like offensive to people, but people need to like kind of wake up a bit because, you know, it's these people that make these films, they do it for the people that like the game. They're doing you a favor by making the film to cater to you, and they've done their best. You know, it's like the Sonic the Hedgehog films. They were good films, but they strayed away from the source material pretty much. But you know, at least 50%. But we enjoyed them films. Now then, is it because of the actors, for example? If we had, let's just say, Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale, Brad Pitt, I don't know, Angelina Jolie, if all these were in the Borderlands film, would that have made the film better? In some people's eyes, it would have done because they want to see that actor or actress. It's just little things which people don't like take into consideration. A game, it's for example, we all know that it's like when people say, do you know when they make films based off books, everyone says the book's better. Okay? And it's like with video games. The video game's always going to be better than the film, and people need to go into watching these video game movies to not go into it hoping it would be exactly the same as the game because it's never going to be, you know. For example, another example, a lot of people really enjoyed the Fallout series on Prime. I didn't really like it that much. I mean, it was all right, but it weren't perfect as people make out. I mean, I'm a hardcore old school Fallout gamer, and it didn't do much for me. If I'm being honest, that's just my honesty. It didn't really hit that spot. But a lot of people loved it because I don't see how you can make a role playing game into a film because the whole point of the game is role playing, pretty much. And yeah, Fallout is an RPG game. To anyone who thinks it isn't, it is. It's a set in the future, post apocalyptic RPG game. Okay, Fallout 4 doesn't exactly do it any favors in the RPG section, but if you play the other games, you'll know what I mean. So I'm going to call this video off now and upload it. I hope I don't sound offensive. I don't want to sound offensive. I just want to raise awareness that, it's there's nothing wrong with gaming movies in general. They make them. Okay, so what? A director jumps on top of a producer jumps on top of an already popular video game and they want to make a movie out of it just to make some money. Yeah, I get that too. But the Borderlands film it wasn't as bad as people are making out. I just have to say this, because I'm getting a lot of people telling me that this film was shit when it wasn't that bad. It was a good film, We're good. Would it have been better if Jack Black spoke more as Claptrap? Well, probably. But, it really is just like one of them. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Bioshock series or movie, whatever they're bringing out on Netflix. I'm really looking forward to that. Is that going to be identical to the games? Well, no, it's not, because it's a movie, you know. But is it going to uncover plenty of lore, and am I going to get the Bioshock feel? Probably. Am I going to think it's terrible because I'm going to compare it to the video game series? Well, maybe a bit. But again, I'm going to rethink in my head, well, this is a film based off a game. And if they do a good job and they try to stick to the source material as best as they can, then it's all good. I'm sure I'll enjoy, the Bioshock when it comes out. So yeah, my take on this is the Borderlands film's good. It's not amazing, but what film is amazing these days? Just is what it is. You can't go into a film based off a video game and already know it's going to be rubbish, or think it's going to be rubbish, because that means you've already gone into it with your biased opinion. So I'm just spreading some awareness, people. Go into these things with more of an open mind. Now, I'm not aiming this at anybody. I'm just saying it's because I'm seeing bad reviews and I want to see another Borderlands film. And obviously, not people are going to think, well, what does this guy know? Well, I I don't know that much. All I know is the film was good. It wasn't that bad. I went with my girlfriend. We enjoyed it. Awesome 50 out.